Welcome to the Underdog Pick'em Show on the LineStar YouTube channel. Alongside my co-host Tyler Wiemann, I'm Shannon Sommerville, and we've got your best player picks for Week 6 on Underdog. If you don't already have Underdog, make sure to download it. Use the promo code LineStar when you do. You'll get a nice deposit match. Plus, you'll also get 1 free month of LineStar, so take advantage of that deal. Remember, the key is to use that promo code LineStar. And if you could do us a huge favor before we get into our picks, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. If we get all 5 of our picks right, one randomly selected commenter will win $100. That's basically the winnings of our entry on Underdog. So make sure to be in it to win it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, and you're in it to win it. Last week on our picks, we were 2-3. So this week we've got a little bit of redeeming to do on our entry on Underdog, Tyler. So week 6, October 13th, lucky 13th. I'm feeling it for this week. We've got a lot of really great matchups on the slate that I'm so excited to just see. And a lot of potential shootouts in here as well. Offense has been a bit hard to come by the first few weeks of the season, but now we're starting to get into situations where teams are really starting to figure out how to get things going offensively, which lends itself to the higher on Underdog in some cases. So what's your overall impression of the slate of games that we've got for week 6?
We have some really fun, exciting games for sure. I mean, that total of 52 or 52 and a half for Detroit and Dallas looks like a fun one. And it's a little later in the day, but also Commanders Ravens, should be another one that is super exciting. And I mean, Jayden Daniels has just been amazing. Hopefully this is a game where, the Commanders let him air it out a little bit, because I really would like to see that. We really haven't seen that many games or that, much where he's had to air it out. They mostly have been controlling the game.
Yeah, Battle of the DMV, certainly one that we are looking forward to, actually in the early slate on those Sunday games. So looking forward to seeing that one. But the first game that we're going to start off with in our picks this week is going to be Green Bay going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this has been an area against the Cardinals that we have tried to target in our player picks. So we're going to do so once again today with Jayden Reed, the Packers wide receiver, higher than 61.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection is all the way at 80. He's had an incredible start to the season, averaging 83 receiving yards per game, has been higher than that 61.5 mark in 3 of 5 games, and going up against an Arizona Cardinals defense that ranks 29th in pass defense DVOA. We just saw Brandon Ayuk torch that defense for 147 receiving yards. Olamide Zaccheaus had 85. Amon-Ra St. Brown 75. I absolutely think Jayden Reed can get there. And when Jordan Love talks about his receiver, I just love the way he just says, I can basically chuck it up and know that he can come down with it. Very much has the feel of a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase kind of connection there. Not comparing him to Jamar Chase, but hey, he's shown a lot of promise in the first few weeks of the season. What do you like about this player pick on Underdog for week 6?
I mean, this team goes how Jayden Reed goes right now. Yeah. Another thing is that McLaurin had 52. He had 10 targets versus them. So the first options on teams versus Arizona have been targeted a lot and doing really, really well. And with Jayden Reed, once again, how the Packers offense is rolling and it rolls through him. I think with the number like 61.5, we got to keep going there, especially when our projection is so much higher and consensus projections higher as well. So all factors of this point me to Jayden Reed.
Also, Green Bay is pretty fast, playing top 10 in plays per game. And the matchup specifically against the cornerback he might be matched up against, Arizona's cornerback, Kytrell Clark, has been giving up a lot of fantasy points to wide receivers. PFF gives him a 62.1 coverage grade. That's fairly low, and he's allowing a 145 passer rating, so that's pretty high there. So either way, good spot for the former Michigan State player to come over or higher than 61.5 receiving yards. Next up on the agenda, we just talked about Amon-Ra and how he had some good numbers against an Arizona Cardinals defense. But how about this week in week 6? I like Amon-Ra higher than 75.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection once again on the side of higher here at 86.2. While he's only averaging 63 receiving yards per game, and I feel like we haven't really seen we've maybe seen one really breakout game with Amon-Ra at 119 versus Tampa. And he's going up against a Dallas pass defense that, yes, they've been good. They rank 5th in pass defense DVOA versus wide receiver ones. However, he did torch them just a year ago. So I think this is a situation, too, where you have to look at the complete game script here. This is going to be a great game, a high-scoring affair, 52.5. This is the highest game total on the slate for this weekend. I'm so excited to see this Detroit Lions team go to Dallas, and Dallas has a lot to prove. And from the standpoint of the Detroit Lions, I think they match up really well against this Dallas defense, especially since they're banged up on their D-line. It's going to be kind of like a situation you have to pick your poison against this Detroit Lions team. And if they decide to try to stop the run here, I especially like the spot for Amon-Ra because that will open things up for him. What is your assessment of where things stand here for Amon-Ra St. Brown and that 75.5 receiving yards mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dallas does need to stop the run. Detroit, that's what they want to do first, is run the ball, own the trenches, and be able to control the game that way. And with Dallas being so beat up, wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if they, bring some extra men in the box to try and stop that rushing game.
Yeah.
But my main thing here is I think that Detroit or Dallas is going to have a very hard time getting pressure on Jared Goff. And it's going to make these corners really, really have to work to stay with everybody. And Amon-Ra is just too good of a receiver to not get open in that situation. So I think going to his over is pretty interesting.
This Detroit Lions team just has so many weapons that can torch you that it's like so hard to just pick one or the other. Here we could have easily gone Jamison Williams as well, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, just knowing the kind of talent that he has and the ability to just torch defenses, especially as you mentioned, if they decide to send extra bodies into the box to stop guys, like that run game is what this offense is really predicated on. So if they bring those guys up, Amon-Ra is going to take full advantage of it. So liking the spot for Amon-Ra. And then let's just keep it in the same game here and go to the other side of things. The Dallas Cowboys offense, let's face it, it basically is CeeDee Lamb. So why not, in a game total that 52.5 is the game total, we go higher for CeeDee Lamb's receiving yards? Because if Dallas has any chance of winning this game, it is through their star wide receiver. So higher than 82.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection 95.4. He's averaging 76 receiving yards per game, and he's been over 2 of 5 games going up against a Detroit Lions pass defense that's been a little bit, I would say, up and down. They do rank 9th. So they're top 10 in pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams wide receiver 1. But I just love the pace of this game, the high game total. Dallas has the 7th most plays per game. They also have a 64% pass play rate. That is 4th highest in the NFL. And if Dallas has any chance of winning this game, they have to get CeeDee Lamb involved early and often, and then not let him fade away in the second half like they've been doing. And if they trail at all, they've got to just keep airing it out and trying to find CeeDee wherever he is on the field. What's your take on this play?
Yeah, I mean, this offense goes through CeeDee. They did establish a little bit of a running game last week. It'll be interesting to see if they can do that again, but the D-line on Detroit side is really good. So I think they're really going to rely on CeeDee in this matchup. And it is a matchup where last year CeeDee had 227 yards. He is just a total different beast. Opposing wide receiver ones have been over and only 2 of 4, but Metcalf had 101. Kupp had 110. Harrison and Mike Evans were the ones that went under. One had 64, one had 42. But I think CeeDee is just a total different beast, and he has had so much success versus this defense that we got to go back.
And this defense plays a lot of man coverage, which is something that CeeDee Lamb, amazing, one of the best at beating man coverage. So really
you can't stop him.
You can't stop CeeDee Lamb. And I know he's had kind of maybe a slower start than people anticipated, but that's kind of similar to how they started last year. Fully anticipate a really good game here for CeeDee Lamb. All right. Next up, it's time for Tyler and I to give our best picks on Underdog for week 6. What you got, Tyler?
I got to go to Tony Pollard, higher than 62.5 rushing yards. Our LineStar projections only 64, but he's been over in 3 of 4 matchups. The Indy is 16th in rush DVOA. And on our team defense tool, Indy is 20th. They started off very rough in the rushing department. Mixon went nuts. Jacob went nuts. They've been a little bit better, the last couple games, but Pollard has been a great running back so far. Like I said, over in 3 of 4. He's averaging 61 yards per game. And Indy is allowing, or is 32nd, allowing 70.4 plays per game to the opposing team. So Tony Pollard is going to have some extra plays this week, maybe a few more rushing attempts. And I think the 62 line is just too low for extra rushing attempts versus a rushing defense that's just not that good.
All right, let's go Tony P. For my pick, I'm going to the Tampa Bay Bucks and that pass-friendly offense. We're going with their tight end, though, Cade Otton, higher than 33.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection for Otton is 40 receiving yards. The consensus is 39.8. And this is a number that Otton has gone higher than the last 3 games, averaging 8.7 yards per reception. And now he gets to go up against a New Orleans Saints pass defense that ranks 29th in pass defense DVOA versus the tight end position. We just saw Kelsey have one of his best games, 70 receiving yards. He was trying to perform for his girl T Swift in the stands, but either way, he torched the Saints defense. Goddard, remember that game when Dallas Goedert had 170 against the Saints defense? That's definitely an area that they are susceptible to giving up yards. And among tight ends, Otton ranks 8th in targets, 4th in route participation. He's 6'5", 250, has that typical tight end build and can get it done. He had kind of a slower start to the season, but now that they're incorporating him into the passing game, I love how they're using him, and it really doesn't take away at all from Godwin or Evans. It just actually kind of helps the whole offense go. So I think the key for them will be getting Cade Otton involved in this one. So I like the play here for Cade Otton, higher than 33.5 receiving yards. So all of those picks are available on Underdog. Make sure to put together, if you'd like to follow us there, make sure to do so. Download the Underdog app, but use that promo code LineStar. Remember, you'll get the deposit match, plus you'll also get 1 free month of LineStar. And if you haven't already, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our LineStar YouTube channel for more picks like this each week. Good luck to you. We want to hear from you guys. If you've got any absolute locks for this week or any entries we should put together, please drop them in the comments. We're all here to help each other out to try to win some money in week 6 on Underdog. So good luck out there. We'll see you guys next time, and be sure to tune into Tyler's DFS breakdown. We'll also have a prop bet show for you for the sports books geared more towards those. So make sure to check that out as well. We'll see you next time.